Alrighty, we are live streaming. Yes, we are. So we're live streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, and we're obviously here in the Zoom room, ladies and gentlemen. For those people who have just joined us on Members Night, this is exactly the same time every week, the event that is run by the field. Once per month, we have corporate come in and do some updates on announcements and that sort of stuff. Having said that, right now, got some weird stuff going on with my computer here. Let me just fix it. Today's going to be an amazing event. We're going to cover off getting started, getting someone started properly from decades of experience in the industry from a couple of legends you're going to hear about in a minute. And we're also going to talk about promotion, which I like to refer to as a hot potato. And you'll hear more about what that means as we're going through the event today. Having said that, we've got people logged in right now from, what have we got? Krakow? Wonder where that is. Somewhere in Poland or somewhere up in Europe, I'm sure. This shows that I don't know my geography. We've got the Caribbean, we've got Ohio, we have Christchurch, New Zealand, Perth, Western Australia, Illinois, Trinidad, Alberta, Canada. We've got Barrie, Ontario, Nova Scotia, Anthem, Arizona, Blizzardly, Ontario, wow, Washington State, Charleston, Polska, yes, I know what that means, So Cali, Northern Hawaii. Man, we got people from everywhere. This is fantastic. So, first thing I want to say before we get the event underway today is so excited. The NYKO events have just been a huge hit. In fact, if you haven't seen this, make sure you're following us on all the social media channels because up to this date, believe it or not, there's been 160 meetings already. 160 meetings. Now, in my career, and I'd love to see a nod or a shake of a head from Italo and Juanita, our guest presenters today. Have you ever known a company to have 160 meetings on the first 2 weeks of January? No, exactly. It's unheard of. So it was a great initiative from the company. Not all the events are open events. Some of them just, smaller private events and so forth. But there has been a heap of events promoted on the Neumi social media as well, and heaps more to come as well. So with that in mind, the NYKO is going really well, and also the team challenge is doing spectacular as well. But what we're going to do is kick off as with the team challenge. I'm sure you guys all know this. You can qualify once you hit a certain amount of points. I think it's 60 for a swag bag for the team. And so I'm going to play a quick video that they gave me from corporate today just to kick off, so you know exactly what you're shooting for in the first stage. So have a quick look at this. Alrighty, so who wants one of those bags? Type it in the chat. Pick me, pick me. Who wants one of those travel bags? I think it's fantastic. And you know what? This industry, once you really get it flying, just know, and I should say, when I say this, the Australian Tax Department isn't listening. No, just joking. It is a tax deduction to travel with this industry. All right. So when I head over to New Zealand to see Prue and Greg and all these people, it's, a bit of socializing, but it's also a business. When I head over to Europe to help the European team, bit of socializing, but it's actually got a business. So you're going to need bags, you're going to need luggage and all these things as well. So today's topics, we're going to, as I said, we're going to be joined by two beautiful friends of mine. One is in our team, one is not in my team, but both are in our beautiful family. Italo and I got to meet each other the day he actually joined the company. And we have a beautiful friendship and a lot of respect. Italo's been in the industry for decades. And then Juanita is also an amazing leader who kicked off Mexico in the early days and has also become my Latin American dancing coach. And if you've seen a giraffe dance, she's got a lot on her hands to make me look okay. So Phoebe, if you can keep leading everyone in the room, that'd be fantastic as we get this going through. So today we're going to cover off two topics. Number one, and please, I implore you that the bluntest pencil remembers more than the sharpest mind. Please get a pen and paper out and take some notes. You're going to hear some amazing information from these two, but I'm going to kick off with just some perspective from me. I want to say this. Rhonda Dasher once said this to me, and I love it. She said, Michael, even though I've learned so much from you when you're speaking, and she is, again, not on my team, she's just a beautiful friend. She said, you're speaking from this perspective. And sometimes we hear other speakers and they come from this perspective on the same topic. So maybe people see things because of their personality, their experience. They may see things slightly differently. So I'm not going to for 1 second say Michael Firth knows all the answers. Anyone who says they know all the answers and they're always right is, there's all sorts of words I can come up with, but it's not the sort of person you want to follow. I'm going to give you my perspective. Atalo is going to give you his. Juanita's going to give you hers. And my intention is that in that means we're coming from every angle and we're going to give you a 360-degree view on the topic. If you like that idea, put a number 1 in the chat, right? So really important. So what I'm going to kick off with just first, and I have written some notes for myself because I want to keep myself on track with you. But what do you think, in my opinion anyway, I believe the number 1 reason people fail in this industry is because no one provided them with a mentor and no one helped them with the basics. So there's 2 statistics you'll hear out there. The first one is that the average person only ever introduces 2.8 people in network marketing, and that's true. That's one average person. Then there's also another statistic that's very true, and that is out of 100 names on a warm, trusted list, the average person probably has about 10 members come out of that and maybe 10 customers. It can vary according to the way you pitch it and according to your confidence, but that's an average. So you're saying those 2 stats don't add up. That's correct, right? Because the first one, no one mentored somebody properly and no one guided them and held their hand. And sadly, I see it in Neumi as well. Some people just sponsor heaps of people and chuck mud against the wall and hope some sticks. And it's not fair on the person who is sponsored when you do that way. So that's why we're here today, to make sure even if your sponsor hasn't given you all the right things to get you moving, you're going to be able to hear it, take some notes from people with experience. Okay. So which would you prefer to be? The first, introducing a maximum of 2.8 people, or the latter? Which one? Type it in the chat, first or latter. And added to that, have a think about it. How would you like the people in your business? Would they be the first or the latter? Someone typed in latter? Latter? Yeah, because the first only introduces 2.8 people, right? So you might not have heard me right. The second one goes on to introduce lots of people. So, it's interesting, and I want to say this, that I won't say who, where, how, what. Let's just say one time I was listening to somebody in this industry and might have even been in this company, and they said, and they were they'd rung the bell at a high rank and slid like snakes and ladders back down to about a third of that rank. And their words were one day on one of the calls, we need to come up with new ways on social media to attract more people because I've run out of contacts. Now, that was a really big red flag for me, because I'm like, if you are trained properly in this industry, you'll never run out of contacts. So that means that was a very big beacon saying, not trained properly, doesn't understand network marketing. So that's what I mean about some people sponsoring lots of people and not teaching other people to learn the basics. Now, sometimes you need to go slow to go fast, right? And I know I could imagine I was going to get a nod then from Italo, because I know that's what he's all about. Sometimes you've got to invest in people, which might not get instant fast results, but it'll pay dividends for the longer term. And that's the most important part, I suppose, what we're talking about today. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to invite both of these guys to give some feedback, but I just thought I'd start on a few things from my end, and then you can get that rounded view. So in my opinion, just an opinion, there's basically, if you boiled it down and wanted to make it appear really simple, network marketing, what do? We do 5 things. Okay, what are they? Number 1, contacting people. That means meeting new people and adding them to your list all the time. And that's a skill to develop, right? Even thumbs up. Number 2, we invite people to take a look, where we pick up the telephone, send a text or what have you, and suggest that they watch a video or come to an event or what have you. That's an invitation. Number 3, we present. Often we use the tools when we're new and we don't know what we're doing. So we use the tools, don't be a tool. All right. And that's the Neumi 123 system and all the events your upline are running for you. But eventually at some point, someone needs to learn how to present. Then number 4, we follow up and follow through. The fortune is the follow through, you've probably heard, and a lot of people don't spend enough time following up. And then number 5, we coach or mentor. It's very simplistic the way I just said that. There's a lot more to it, but they're the 5 things. So what do I say to a new person if you're on here today? I go, okay, great. I said coaching and mentoring. You don't qualify to coach and mentor yet because you haven't done anything. Theoretical coaching doesn't cut it, right? Number 4, follow through. Your upline should be helping you with the follow through. You shouldn't be doing it on your own, right? That's part of the Neumi 1, 2, 3 system. Leverage off third-party validation. Don't do it all yourself. Presenting, number 3. If you're brand new, I'd suggest don't be the presenter, because to your contacts, you want a third party involved. Maybe use the videos, maybe use your upline who's presenting, log on to the live events. What's that leaving? 2 things, contacting and inviting. Contacting at the start is not something that you, sorry, just declining something on the screen there. Contacting is not something that, that you need to focus on immediately, but pretty quickly you do, dig the well before you need it. That leaves one thing, inviting. And in my opinion, the number 1 skill of a person, the first skill someone needs to master in this is actually inviting, okay? And until you have mastered inviting, you could be a great presenter, but you got to get people to the presentation, don't you? So inviting is the key thing. And how many people practice their invitation? Very few. And I say that when I start every brand new person, I say, look, I'm going to tell you something. I used to drive along back in the days when mobile phones were brand new in the car, and I had a telephone wire sticking at the top of the car, and everyone thought I had a mobile phone. It was actually the car I was given from the previous sales rep, and it didn't have a phone in it. It just had the antenna. So I'd be driving down the road and I'd be rehearsing my script, and people just assumed I was one of these wealthy people who had a mobile phone in the car. I was just rehearsing my script over and over and over and over. Now, when I say script, I don't believe in handing you a script in my perspective, but I do believe in teaching you key questions. It's not about knowing all the answers, the power. It's about being excited and knowing the right questions to ask. So that's what I suggest people practice. And then they come up with their own word track script, what do you want to call it, that isn't mine. It's not a copy paste, not creating parrots, but they will be the best version of themselves if they do that. Now, so the first skill is inviting, right? Having said that, the second thing I suppose I'd talk about is tapping into someone's emotional reason why. Now, I was going to spend some time on this, but I know someone following me up is going to spend time on it, so I'm not going to do that. But that's the difference between somebody who does introduce 2.8 people and someone who goes on to contact the whole list of 100 and one day become a leader, because they've tapped into their reason why. If you don't know your reason why, and let's say your reason why for Neumi is because I just want to help the world become more healthy, and that's a noble cause, don't get me wrong. When the going gets tough, that's not so motivating anymore. Yeah, look, I know I wanted to help the world, but I'm getting a lot of rejection, so I think I'll give it a wide berth, thanks. Whereas if you were tapped into your reason why, like for me, I'd lost everything financially before Neumi. That's why I was very motivated. So I had a big reason why. And if I went back to when I became a diamond in the previous company, my daughter said to me one day, Dad, we hardly see you because I was working so hard in the corporate world. And that became my reason why. That were emotional reasons that could drive me to tears. That was important, okay? So spend time helping someone uncover what their reason why is. Okay, another thing I believe, from my perspective, it's important to do is when you're starting someone to at least basically understand their personality type. Okay, so that's number 3. Why do I say that? Well, there are different tools that we're going to talk about today to get people started. For example, there's the Fast Start Guide, 1-pager, and there's the 90-day plan. I don't know how many pages, but it's a lot, right? Why do I share that with you? I am a lion, driver, no details, do it now, do it yesterday, right? Sort of person. And I'm also the otter, let's have fun and, have a party. Those 2 people do not read long-winded documents, just being honest with you, right? I did scan it once, right? But when you're talking to, say, my wife, the 1-pager would lack substance. So she will read the entire 90-day plan. She'll probably highlight it with a highlighter. I brought that for her. She'll probably laminate each page, right? And then she might frame it, put it on the wall, all before getting started, right? And I'm saying that with love and fun because it's personality types. So if I'm a lion and I get someone started and I say, hey, here you go, here's the getting started 1-pager, let's go. They might be going, whoa, I need to do a bit of practice first. I need some more detail. How does this work? How does that work? That's why that company came out with the 90-day plan, which is fantastic. Okay, number 4, which I think is pretty important as well, and this is what I do. Not everybody does this, but please, if I could put a flashing light, a warning to you to do this, please send your brand new members the compliance documents in their language. Why? Okay, if you don't, you're going to help us to play whack-a-mole in the company. What does that mean? Well, if you don't, I had a brand new member the other day who set up a page and it was called Neumi Canada. You're not allowed to. Did you know that? So you're not allowed to go Neumi Mexico, Neumi Australia. You can't do anything. You can't say Neumi is the best. You can only set up a page with another word or 10 words, whatever you like, and you can include the word Neumi in it. Why? We don't want people to be perceived. It wasn't you. I know it wasn't you, Kevin. It was someone else. But I knew he was going to say that. So it's important to give the compliance document to people just so they know what you can and can't do. Plus, next minute you'll see a testimonial online saying, wow, I had, XYZ disease and I'm cured. Whoops, you're not allowed to say that either. You'll get us shut down. So there's you don't want to have to be the compliance police, but giving the document saying just have a scan through is probably a good idea to do that as well. Okay. So that's my perspective there. But I just want to basically just say what are sort of things I send people for my list, and then we'll talk to these guys. So number one, everyone gets the Neumi 123 training, right? If you don't know what the Neumi 123 training is right now, and you've been sponsored by someone and your upline hasn't told you, holy moly, that's like giving you the keys giving you a Ferrari and not giving you the keys. It's like, isn't it lovely? You can't drive it yet. So the Neumi 123 process is a training video that everyone has in their app and so forth. Then I give the fast start guide and the 90-day plan, and I determine which personality they are. I give them a compliance document just so I can say I have. And then I practice a phone call with them once they've worked out what their version of their word tracks or script is. And then I'd set them up with the app. Okay, so that's my quick synopsis. Okay, but now I'm going to introduce these guys, and I'm going to pull up their notes just to make sure a little bit about what they're going to cover. And we're going to get them both on the screen at the same time. So if you guys want to unmute, I'd love to invite and please welcome them really nicely. Juanita, my Latin American dancing coach. And hello. So welcome, Bob. Italo, want to unmute?
Hey, there you
go. All right, fantastic. So these guys are beautiful human beings. They are servant leaders. As I said, Italo and I are not in different teams. We're not these people who go, oh, my team, your team, oh, yeah, all that rubbish. It's just the bigger family. We're all cousins. We're all in love with each other, and we've got the greater good in mind to help all of you. But we do also have different levels of experience, different perspectives, different topics, and that's what we're going to talk about. So if we talked about the top 5, so I know you can't hear that, but someone just rode a very loud motorbike past me. If we talk about the top 5 things that you guys think new people should either do, know, or talk to about, I'm going to just do the chivalrous thing and start ladies first. So Juanita, could you tell me what would be the first out of the 5?
So my very first, I love the 1, 2, 3 system, and I will cover the number 1. The number 1 is the tools. Connect to the tools. And you know what? Does everybody have their phone? You need, the first thing that I do when I sponsor someone, okay, let's get your phone out and let's find the Neumi app. Oh, I love the Neumi app. Everything is in there. Why are we trying to invent everything? And people say, what do I do? So I teach them to connect to all the tools. Instead of trying to figure out what I'm going to send someone, could you make me a video? Do I do this? Do I do that? The videos are in here. Everything in your language. So this is the very first thing. And then I teach them to go to their back office. There's more tools there. And the tools in there, the white paper, there's so many wonderful things. So the most important thing to me are the tools. And I just love connecting and helping my brand new distributor with the tools.
Perfect. All right. Now, Italo, you talked about elevating belief as number 1. Tell me more about that.
Well, when you have a newcomer, a new member, basically they don't know anything about network marketing. Some of them they know, So what I do is elevate the consciousness where the person is. To say, you know what, we are in the network marketing, but we have something really unique. It's a hydrostack. And then we start elevating the consciousness and going to the elevate also the belief the person feel confident. Oh, I am in a good place. I am in a good place. I know they have tools and all that, but for me, step by step. The person increase the belief. When it increase the belief, and they immediately they want to share. They're confident to share because they have in their hands something really unique. And then we teach the second thing we share, which is the the list, because the people want to share and say to whom. So we help them to build a list, and then when they say how to make the list, how to evaluate the list, and then once you have that, and then they say how we want to do that, and then we teach them. Yeah, okay.
I was just going to say we jumped into number 2 there, which is the list.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Go.
That's all right. We just said before we're going to bounce around each other. So connecting to tools was Juanita's on number 1, which is fantastic. Elevating their belief is number 1 for Italo. Moving into number 2, Italo's is helping them with their list. And now let's just bounce back to you, Juanita. What would be your second out of the 5?
So connecting to leaders, to upline, to the corporate, I think it's very important. And that's one of the things that I like to do, whether it's connecting them to my sponsor, to my upline, to corporate, and then also in connecting with leaders, invite them to one of the meetings that one of the other leaders is going to do, maybe before I even do a 3-way call, so that they can see a presentation by one of the leaders. And of course, our very own founder always send them that video of Steve. He's, he says it all for you. So I think that's very important.
Beautiful. And on that, I'm just going to backtrack a couple of things. When you mentioned the app earlier, I just want to do a quick advert, guys. Let's just say I had a login given to me about an hour ago. The new version of the tools that are coming out are going to blow your mind. So I'm just giving you the heads up. The current version of the app that Juanita's talking about is great. Then what's coming is like off the charts. And also when you're talking about connecting to leaders, and I love that, even for me, if I'm recruiting someone, Alex is in the recruitment process as my upline. So I go, watch this video. Now let's connect to leaders, and I connect them to Alex, and here's a bit of a chat because I can't edify myself. And so even when someone started then connecting to leaders, other leaders, corporate people, like you said, introducing them to corporate perhaps, or another further person up the line, the more people you introduce people to, the less isolated they feel, and the more part of the Neumi family they feel, and the more third-party validation comes in. So I absolutely love that. Now, I may have cut off halfway through number 2 for you, Italo. So if you want to continue on the list bit a little bit, that'd be fine.
Well, okay. My opinion, why I do the list, because the people need to have result. It doesn't need to be inside of the society or the network marketing, the society of the Neumi. No, need to result. And result doesn't, you showing many people it's good to be in society, but the result coming from the list. So the person need result fast, because the faster you do it, the belief the person increase and stay longer, because you see we do that. I agree with everything, but it's not the first priority. We had to show the thing, I do, of course, the 3-way call and stuff like that in the process of the recruiting. But when we are starting, we need to increase the belief in order that people be done. So doing the first thing you need to do is the list. Explaining then why the list is important. It's the business, the business is in right there. You have the material to work in that, it's the thing. But that's the reason of the list, explaining why the list need to be dynamic also. increasing all the time, people, more people, more people, and teach them how to evaluate the list. Which one of the first 30 people you want to do that? All the chicken list and stuff like that. But be with the person. You have to be a companion. No, in the mode supervisor or the mode manager, the person. Be with them together. You bring somebody, and then you bring a partner. You don't bring an employee. You don't bring anybody like that. I told immediately the person, you know what? I'm looking for a person. I will be with them for the next 10 to 20 years. Are you looking for something like that? They say, no, yeah, okay, I know, but are you looking for that person? Because then the person and going, boom, put a lot of time and effort in that person to help.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is the second thing.
Do you know, on that, I love that we can banter around here, because Italo said something, and the wisdom came from him. When we started, Alex and I talked about the 130-10 philosophy. 100 names equals, maybe 30 people show an interest, maybe 10 customers, 10 members. So we talked about that, and Italo brought up something so profound. He said 100 names scares most people, and we need to chunk it down to cycles. And so when you hear us talking about the cycles in the Neumi 123 training, I'd love to say Alex and I came up with it. No. On my screen, it's the guy underneath me that I'm looking at with a coffee cup, right? Chunking it down to 30 names. Why? It doesn't scare people. And I love that. Now, having said that, when someone gets into the rhythm, another little thing I do with lists, I say, now that you're moving, make 2 lists. Now that you're already moving, you've had some success, whatever. 1 list, every single person with a human being, who's a human being who is breathing. I say, if you do this and there's no pulse, leave them off the list, okay, right? Then out of that, you can pull more of these 30-name hit lists out over time. It doesn't mean you'll ring them. I've got people on my list from day one that I've never, ever, ever, ever called yet. And if you do have an evergreen list, meaning you're adding people to social media, you're meeting new people, you're doing the contacting, you should never run out of a list. Like I said, back to that person who went ding, rang a bell and slipped back down the ranks. That person doesn't understand network marketing. It's about teaching the baby steps to lots of people. I think it was Eric Worre once said, network marketing isn't some superhuman, I've introduced thousands of people. It is a lot of people, each doing a little bit of work over a long, consistent period of time. And that's true success, because it's not a flash in the pan. And so I love all these things we're hearing. So I'm going to keep going with you, though, on number 3 then, because I can see it dovetails back to something that Juanita said before about tools. So Italo?
Well, and then the person wants to increase the belief and say, have the desire to share that, and they say to whom, and then we talk about our list. How important is the list? That's the number 2. Then, and they say, we have tools. You don't need to know everything. No problem. Because this is done specifically for people. It's a part-time. It doesn't have knowledge about this. And then you are the messenger. You are not the message. The message is in the tools. So what do you need to know is what is the tool for prospecting? What is the tool you use it for recruiting? What is the tool we use for duplication or teaching the person, and then the person to have more clarity. Oh, my tool. You have tools. Yes, you have tools. And then you got that using the tool with the person. If the person feel confident, they don't need to be Desert Yeager or Alex Monterosa or Michael Firth or whatever, They say, whatever I am, it's just Italo Get, I can do it, And then the person increase the desire to share more, because they feel supported. She's supported not just for the upline line, because the system is supporting him, and he feel they are picking the win bigger of the person. Say, I can fly alone. Yes, this guy is showing me picture tools like a video, PDF, or something like that. We have magnificent, tools right here, and we can use it. That we need to know which one of the tools is important to teach them what is the tool we had available, and they say how to use it. Become a messenger, not the message.
Love that. And on that, become the messenger, not the message. just a heads up, guys. The previous company I worked with in Steve's case, if you saw the graph, they're almost dissolved now. But that company, as it went through their boom and bust, they went through this boom where everyone suddenly thought that they needed to be a glutathione expert and science up the wazoo. And they could recite glutathione knowledge like nobody else known to man. And I actually, when I remember meeting Alex and I said, how come I don't hear you saying that? But, these guys do. And he said, have you noticed how their businesses are all small? I'm like, yeah. And he goes,
Yeah.
they're complicating it. They're complicating it. They're being the message instead of the messenger. So use the tools, don't be a tool. Another way of saying that, right? Now, speaking of that, your number 3, and again, they don't have to be in specific order, guys, but one of the third things for you, Juanita, was connect to product. Tell us about that.
The product. Why is the product important? Because you have to, I learned from my very, very first network marketing company, be a product of the product, use it, fall in love. And the best way is to be on auto ship so that you never forget it comes in every month. So help them set up their auto ship. And then every once in a while say, did you know that we have the neuro? Did you know that we have the Neumi skin? And so keep introducing another product. Notice they haven't ordered, they only ordered that one, and introduce a new one. So if they're only doing an order of 2, well, have them order 3 now because they're going to fall in love with 3. And all we're saying is be a product of the product. And besides that, send out the before and after pictures. Oh my goodness. Once you send out the before and after pictures, you always get someone saying, well, what do I need to take for that? Well, you need at least 2 products for the before and after because they're using the glutathione external and internal.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, number 4, Italo, for you was something about not being alone in the process.
What do you say again? Sorry.
So number 4 here, it says, let them know they're not alone in the process.
Okay, well, the person need to be known, need to take action. You need to take action. Because without action, you can be expert in everything, in reading everything, knowing all the PDF, all the video. If you don't take action, nothing happens. Nothing. Nothing happens. So the need to talk to the people, you have a burning desire to be right here. We teach you the 1, 2, 3, and then you need to take action on this one. It's really not difficult. And then all the steps before, the leads, I believe, stuff like that, you need to take action, and I will be with you. I will be with you. I will be your workout partner. Your workout partner, and they 3-way call with you, and then everything you need to know, I will be with you. You have 100 word, 100 questions, and then I will be with you answering the most of the question you have. But most of the time, the answer they need to come from the tools. See, they don't know how to start. Oh, you know what? I can tell you how to start it, but probably I will be a little off because I am not an expert on that. But we have a Steve Scott, the plane is so beautiful. And also we have a white paper. I recommend to you that always teaching, with the tools. Tools are expert.
Gotcha. Now, Juanita, you're muted, but number 4 for you, we've covered this from our perspective, but your perspective on a list.
So my perspective on a list is not only have it in a book so that you're going over it, looking at it every day, but not only having the list. So what has worked for me teaching some of the people is how many contacts will you contact every day? Is it 3 a day? Is it 4? Is it 5 a day? Write down how many people you will contact. And if you said 3, well, which 3 are you going to contact? And then you just check them off. And I check them off every day. Whatever the number it is, I will write down the name. And sometimes I'll go over the amount of people I have. But that's what is so important. Like Italo said, the action. So not only having the list there, but doing it and contacting them. And sometimes what we do is we practice contacting people. Okay, let's all get on the phone and let's practice. Okay, what are we going to tell them? And so we go over a few scripts together so that they feel comfortable.
Love that. And you know what? If you don't, this is my opinion. This is the way I put it to a new person, to edify what both of you have said about that. If you, I just say, look, I'm going to tell you something that maybe 5% of Neumi members do. Whoa, what's that? I say, well, they practice their approach and their invitation out loud enough that it becomes conversational. I said, only maybe 5 to 10% of Neumi members do that. Oh, no coincidence. Those 5 to 10% also go on to become the highest income earners. Just saying, you can choose if you practice or not, right? Because think about it. If you were a brain surgeon, would you go, nah, I've got this. I read the manual once. No, you would have to do a lot of practice to get good at it. So it doesn't matter what your occupation is, practice. If you're an actor or an actress, they go, I can do that role. Yeah, I've read the script, we're good. No, they walking around the house saying it out loud, using inflection, I'm trying to be this certain person, whatever. I'm not saying you're an actor, but I'm saying the more you say it out loud and practice, the more your subconscious hears you saying it. When your subconscious remembers it next time when you pick up the telephone and someone says, yeah, but what is it? You don't go, rabbit in the headlights. You know the answer to that question. So bang, it just comes out like a conversation because people join your confidence, and your confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from practice. Don't practice, no confidence, no competence. And that will eliminate
That's
results.
totally right.
Yeah, and that means that's why the statistic of 2.8 is that person that no one actually helped them to practice. So practice. All right, final one for both of you. So number 5 for you, Juanita.
So number 5 for me was booking a meeting, whether it's inviting them to our Tuesday night meetings that we have every Tuesday, and now it's in all the languages. And by the way, I will be presenting next Tuesday.
Yes, you will.
Okay. And, or is it you're booking a meeting at your house, the brand new person, we show them how to invite the people and we help them and then tell them I'm available on Zoom to be one of your presenters. So you're not going to do it alone. And if you want me to do the whole thing at the very beginning, but you have 5 to 10, 15 people at your house or at a place, and I will do the meeting for you, the first meeting. And this way they're committing to doing a meeting in their home or in a place, and we can do the presentation for them. So it's very, very important to invite these prospects to a meeting, whether Zoom or in person. Take
Love
action.
it. Love it, love it, love it. And Atalo, you're number 5.
Well, I want to talk about the same thing. We want when we do the 30 people, we run the 31st people in 3 days. So you want to say Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just an example, and you have four days to make all the recruiting process and follow up, so that people need to have result the faster they can, because the faster they can result, that they increase, they feel Superman, Superwoman, never I did that, and I have a $20 check, the check of the belief, and then once we had that one, because really important to have that list, you reinforce. Yeah, very good. We're gonna do that 30 more days, 30 more people. What do you think about that? If you do it again with them, and then again, and 30 pin, 30 people, you can do 190, 120, whatever, but 30 at the time. And then along with that, you are doing all the other stuff we are talking about, presenting the president, all that kind of stuff, because the president never will be actually we call it for them. You will be the person. Okay.
Beautiful. Now, you also said, because I kept your notes, you also said about understanding the comp plan. So as number 5 as well. I've got Just making sure they understand exactly the first three ranks you said.
The first three?
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'll do, guys?
First,
This is probably the best. I was thinking about this because I've been alternating through you guys, and I said top
okay.
five. It doesn't flow as well, but I'm going to do it now. I'm just going to say so. Italo's was number one. Want to write this down, guys, from all your notes? Elevate their belief. Okay, so that was number one. Number two was understanding the importance of the list. Number three was explaining the tools that are available to them. Number four, letting them know they're not alone in the process and you're their workout partner. And number five was understanding how the comp plan pays out. Do you want to touch on that one now?
Yeah, just it's a second because I can now hear you really good when I said on the fifth one. Can you run down?
The fifth one was just helping them to understand the compensation plan.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. You don't need. Well, we have a really simple compensation plan. We don't have 15 ways, to pay the other people. Giving houses, giving bonus the cars, all kind of stuff. You have 15 way to pay. You have 15 way to don't pay. So.
I like that.
Then we do that really simple thing. We teach you how they make money. Why all the activity we are doing is focusing the money. So the system we are using need to be really in concordance with the comp plan. Otherwise, you are occupied, and don't be productive because you are doing the different action don't go straight. We need to go exactly with the high pay activities. What are the pay activities? Some activity is not pointed, aiming to bring a new customer or a new member. You're doing the wrong thing. You are in too many things. This is so you have to thinking about all the time. This activity that I'm doing really is helping me to bring a new one and a new member or and then I am the right thing. This is the example of how they teach you then the comp plan. The comp plan need to be, in my opinion, of course, it's a so simple comp plan to say all the activity we do is because you want to have this bonus. I don't teach, if you are a crown and double crown, you will be making, no. So just the third three or four, step of the comp plan, they're making money. That's it. Otherwise, you're too noisy, the information.
Love that. And on that note, guys, it's funny, sometimes you have a blind spot that you don't see. And when Aaron came out with the 5 ways to profit, I think it was called, what do you want to do in business? Step one, if you had a McDonald's franchise, you've just spent $1 million, you want your money back. So in Neumi, you've spent $100 or $200, whatever it is. You want your money back. So that's the first goal. So your activity is to get to power of 3 is to do that. And that's exactly what you're saying. And then, if you're in business, you want to have a nil expense. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Stop overloading the prospect with too many, crown and all that rubbish. So this is what Italo's saying. Second step is you now want your product for free, which is kind of like saying, you don't have to pay for stock in a business in a normal sense. How do you do that? Well, help a couple of other people do power of 3. Boom. Now you've got ongoing free product. And then the third step is like where, maybe it's $500, maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's a 1-star, maybe it's a senior member, whatever it may be. So I love that. Now the top 5 from Juanita, just in case, because we went around, I'm going to bullet point them. Number 1, master the Neumi 1, 2, 3 system. Number 2, connect them to leaders. They're not on their own. Number 3, connect them to product. Set them on the auto ship and so forth. Number 4, help them make a list of 100 names. And then number 5, book a meeting with their house or what have you. So that's the top 5 from different perspectives. Final topic we want to talk about, guys, today here is, so now you've started someone properly. Are you being lazy? Ooh, what do I mean? Well, it's just my opinion. Just my opinion again. I'm looking here, right? So if I offend anyone, I apologize. But when we're talking about powerful promotion, one of the other reasons I think people fail is that they simply sit back and think it's the company's job to promote or my upline's job to promote. I call it the hot potato, hot potato. If you throw me a hot potato, I'm like, oh, throw it to the next person, right? That's how quick your promotion should be. So I hear Steve Scott's doing a unique event next Tuesday. Bang! I'm on the telephone and text to everyone frontline and everyone downline that I'm talking to. Let me see in the chat a show of hands or a yes. Have you ever received a promotion about an event from me in the chat? Have I ever sent you something on social media and said, hey, don't miss this, don't miss that, don't miss that? Pretty much everyone in this room should say it. Right? I know some of them aren't even in my downline, but I'm going, Atello's going to influence people to get on Steve's event. I'll just make sure he saw it on social media as well. Hot potato, promote everybody in, well, obviously, when you get to the point where there's 100,000 people in your team, I can't contact everybody. But what I can do is contact strategic leaders and anyone in my diamond business personally. That's my responsibility to get the word out there. So I want to share some stats with you, right? Because if you assume the company's promoted it and they're all seeing it, good luck. So number one, 16% of emails get opened around the world. If you emailed somebody and you said, but I emailed them, good luck. If you emailed me, I reckon my statistic is 5% of emails get opened, right? But Neumi's official emails are around 30%. That still leaves 70% of people never saw it. So you go, that's okay, they're on social media. The algorithms of social media mean that unless they're interacting with that page every day, they're not seeing it. I love it when someone comes to me and goes, yeah, I've got a pretty big social media following. I've got 100 people on my page. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, just so we're clear, 10% of them will see it because of the algorithm. So that means if you've got 100 people, 10 people are seeing it. Oh, that's why Facebook want us to pay to promote stuff, to thrust it in people's faces. Their algorithms rule out 90% of them all the time. So you can't rely on just social media. You can't rely on just the emails. Would you believe that this current app doesn't tell us exactly how many people open the alerts, but in the previous app, I can tell you that, the whole philosophy of everyone opens an app alert used to be true, but it's getting busy here now. So we send that. So when something comes out from Neumi, I put it on social media. I send it out directly to everybody. I send it out on the app. I almost want to get some carrier pigeons and send them out as well. I make sure every form of communication is to get it out there. Okay. So with that in mind, what would be, and I'll just do it this way this time. I'll start with Juanita. What are the top 3 things people need to know about promotion from you?
What works for me and my team is the WhatsApp, because we've created different WhatsApp groups. So whenever I see that we're going to do a meeting, like what I did today before the meeting, I just send it out on WhatsApp and I get immediate results. I mean, it seems like people are sitting there just waiting for something, because this is our Neumi teams that we have in WhatsApp, and it is the best. Number 2 is I contact the leaders. I send them a text privately, but then I follow up with a phone call. Very important to do that. And you should contact your leaders every few days and just let them know and ask them questions, let them know what's going on. And number 3, we have Zoom meetings with our team. And then we promote in detail. So these are the things that are coming up, and then I review everything that we covered on our Diamond Call, and these are the new things coming up, and people love it. They're like ready to learn what's happening and what's new in Neumi. So those are my 3. Thank you.
Beautiful. And Atala, what are your top 3?
Well, I am really in agreement with Juanita. WhatsApp is a tool, amazing. You can do it. So, I go on a little bit further on that. I realize, if you make it a video, if you put it in WhatsApp, the people pay more attention, because it's not just seeing your gesture, the inflection of your voice, you are enthusiastic or to your like that, and then instead of just words, that people say like that and don't know. So doing that will be for me and better communicate that. The other thing is, especially for the people who has a long or big or large team, is the penetration of that information. So if you do that one time, you penetrate really in the first, layers of the organization. But if you do 1 or 2 or 3 times, in the same information in a different way, and then the people will, you penetrate more than. So in order to promote better, you have to do it several times, or several leaders can be that in the team, say you ask to another diamond, another person in your team, say, hey, I do the video, and then you have different person. In my opinion, to promote, especially events, in 2 or 3 days in advance, every day you do that, and you penetrate further, and especially if you have several persons doing that.
Beautiful.
It's the
Beautiful.
first one. The second one is the Facebook group. They have Facebook group. You put the information right there. Even though, and I have, for example, everything, everything. I see that. You put that information. Oh, I know. Sometimes even I don't have that information for Neumi, but because I am in that group, give me the information, it appear in my phone, So group also is very good, especially when you use followers, or highlight that, and then you communicate. Another way to communicate. And the third one is the old one, the ping, take the phone and say, hey, buddy, you know what? We have a really good, it's better you call your first 5 people in your team, and then 5 people and 5,
Beautiful.
and then you can disseminate all the information to promote something. But the promotion need to be in the way the promotion, because sometimes the people say, tomorrow we have the meeting. That's not a promotion. That's just an announcement.
Yes.
Promotion is something else. The promotion is a word. It's a promotion. It's an activity before the movement you wanna create. So you have to be more enthusiastic. They have to know an announcement. Announcement. They say, hey, tomorrow we have meeting. No, we are not in the Boy Scout. We are in network marketing.
Hey, I love that. So promotion, promote with emotion. I love that. And that's, even Kevin typed in, video message when you said it. I love that, because nothing beats a passionate phone call. Second step, nothing will beat a passionate video or a passionate audio message or something to really inspire people. So that's great. So thank you for both of these guys for their wisdom that they've shared with us today. I want to also say this. If you're watching this right now, just remember this. Have you ever been to the gym and you see somebody who has huge biceps and, oh my God, they've got lats and whatever, and you look at their legs and they've got skinny little chicken legs, right? That's the people who don't come to these and go and watch all the glutathione things thinking that's the most important. You need to be well-rounded. Your leg day is today, your bicep day is your glutathione. And with that in mind, promoting an event from an event next week, we're going to the biceps. Today we're doing the legs. And so next week you're going to hear from Dr. Jonathan Glass, who wrote the book, I think it was The Ultimate Cleanse. And he will be coming on, and he's done for us so far, I think, 3 events. It was glutathione, the secret to the lungs, the liver, and different things. And this one will, thank you, Total Life Cleanse. Thank you, Christine. Dr. Jonathan Glass will be on at this time next week, and he'll be covering off heart health. So you want to pack it out. But again, don't be that person who has the skinny little chicken legs who didn't spend time researching and learning and practicing the proper network marketing skills. Otherwise, you'll have a little business with lots of customers for the rest of your life. And if you really do want to go diamond like these guys, or crown, or even president one day, you need to learn your craft. And today was exactly about that. So thank you, everybody who came on today. Thank you to our speakers, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next event. All the best.